Hey y'all, welcome to What Could Possibly Go Wrong, the podcast where two neurodivergent friends talk about deep anxieties and possibilities of what could possibly go wrong. I'm Ariel, and I'm here today with my friend Lyndzy. Make some noise for yourself.
Caw, caw.
Fabulous. I am a travel medical worker and true crime connoisseur and lover of all things that are weird. And I am here to talk to you about RFID. But I also want to introduce my friend Lyndzy. Lyndzy, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lyndzy. I'm a teacher. I dabble in the martial arts and foreign languages. I also play video games, and I like to look into the shiny, the glittery, and the macabre. And hang out with my friend Ari.
Hey! All right. So let's settle into what neurodivergent weirdness we can get into today. So RFID has been knocking around my noggin for quite some time, and I'm sure it's also been knocking around other people's
What is RFID?
So RFID is little radio frequency identification, and each one of these chips kind of what is this? What is this? This is expelling a radio frequency. Mm-hmm. We could totally keep that in. I love that.
Okay.
Because this shows how my brain works. It expels a radio frequency that is unique to that chip, and because it only relies on radio frequencies, we can actually travel with them for long distances. This is different than like the NFCs that you have like in your tap to pay and stuff. Those are used because, you know, it's got your secure banking information on it, and they don't want people to be able to pick that up from a long distance. Mm-hmm. But what if one day we just decided, why not, right? What if we could not only conjoin the NFC and the RFID together so that you could actually like travel long distances with your bank information and not feel insecure about it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to share a clip with you of a woman. She's a little bit controversial, but her hubby and she are very rich, which is why they have controversy, because anyone with that much money is kind of controversial.
So their controversies are more public.
Absolutely. You know, you can be as controversial and out of the public eye as much as you want. Nobody's going to say anything. But this woman, she goes by the handle of Chip Girl on TikTok. So she is a very rich woman. She has married a very rich man in tech, and he has made the ultimate in smart homes. Mm-hmm. And so she uses an embedded chip in her hand to get into her house, to get into her snack cabinet, to open up her personal side drawer, and to also keep tracking on her animals.
Oh. Well, I mean,
yeah,
that's actually kind of normal these days, the animal chipping, but the people chipping,
right. So the difference between the animal chipping and the human chipping is the animal chipping is a chip that just has their name and your name and just like tiny, tiny, tiny amounts. RFID can actually store a whole lot of information, like tons. And so that makes it so much more convenient for keeping things that you need on your person, like, you know, like the locks to a door, or, you know, maybe you want, let's take Chip Girl as the example. In the future, she'll have kids or something, so she can activate their chips to open the front door, but not her bedroom door.
Or the snack cabinet, for that matter.
Or the snack cabinet, which is, yeah.
Yeah. keep the 1-year-old away from mommy's snacks. It's perfect. Yeah.
Right. I don't know what that's about. So this is actually happening. You know, they don't have, the one she has is from, you know, I'm not going to say the company name. I don't want people going out there and embedding chips. If you want an embedded chip, you go out and do your research. But she had it embedded by a professional, and not to poo-poo on this, but the site that she got it from suggested if you can't find a doctor, go to a tattoo artist or piercer, which is, they do have aseptic technique, right? Especially in the body modification world where people want some dermal, subdermal implants. That, maybe.
Speaking from experience, though, you would literally have to find somebody with experience with subdermal implants, because there are people who are just straight piercers and don't know subdermals, like me.
Yeah.
So I worked in several
Yeah.
shops, never did a dermal. And you would want to make sure that the person has done several of them before you embark on that, because sometimes they won't always tell you that the person is training and that it's their first one.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
something to look into for sure. Because what could possibly go wrong, right?
Just possibly go wrong. I remember the first time I ever had to do a blood draw. The lady asked, "Is this your first time?" No. Thousands. I've done thousands virtually in my head. Anyway, so no, you don't want to say that to somebody. So there are some risks with the RFID chip being implanted. It started to get really good in 1998 was I think the first one they ever implanted in a human, and the scientist who tried to develop the coating that goes around it tried it on himself. Fair enough,
Mm-hmm.
you want to play with the experiments? Let's do it ourselves, on ourselves. So he did have some rejection issues, just like we know from piercings and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Your body has, I've often said this to you, your body has one major thing that it does is it tries to push out the bad thing. It inflames, it encapsulates, and it tries to push it out. And if it can't push it out, it'll just make a thick encapsulation around it so that it'll never see the light of day again. And of course, it'll try to eat it while it's encapsulated, but that doesn't always work.
No,
that doesn't always work. And so that is the problems that they've had with these implanted RFIDs, is that the body will encapsulate it, and during the encapsulation, your radio frequency becomes less, and during the rest of the encapsulation, which is your body tries to eat it, it can start to corrode inside of you, and that's frightening. Yeah, that's frightening. The chip will corrode and then, of course, stop working. So if this was attached to our personages and it carried our ID, it was secure, and we could use it for banking as opposed to the NFCs, we would still have to combat the human body rejecting it, and then all of a sudden, maybe one day, our information would be lost because our body ate it, basically.
No, it's no, that's definitely a thing. It depends on what kind of metal it's made out of too. Do you because the same thing can happen to piercings. That's why a lot of people who get the cartilage piercing end up with that bubble around it. It's actually your ear just saying, okay, I can't push you out. Just become part of me forever. And yeah, but a lot of the times the metal that piercings are made out of, it's not very successful, on top of the fact that it's a hoop and the placement. But so people are putting things with their IDs in them that could potentially be absorbed, corroded, and infected.
Oh yeah, infection, definitely. Yeah,
I could see that happening for sure, because that, again, with dermals and such, that's a big concern. I can't see why it wouldn't be for one of these.
Yeah. I can only oh, and then of course you have extensive medical treatments. You sometimes need an X-ray, or not that the X-ray affects the chip at all, but an MRI would.
MRI, no. Oh, that's like the exact reason I don't want to get an MRI. Like, I watch all those movies where the prison tattoos come out through the person while they're getting the imaging done, and I have tattoos, but not prison tattoos. But every time I stop and I go, what if prison tattoos have metal in them because they're just breaking pens and putting ink in them? That's my fear when I go into an MRI, is that for some reason one of the tattoo artists out there that worked on me used ink with metal and something bad will happen. And I have that fear over and over again, even though I've been in the MRI before and I haven't had any new tattoos. It's just it's embedded like the chip. So
yeah. Absolutely. And then of course I too have that same fear, like, oh, did I forget to take out a piercing? Or what if that metal screw in my knee actually reacts this time?
Oh
I swear
no.
to God, I swear to God, the first MRI after the knee surgery, I could feel it tingling.
No, no, no,
I
no, no.
swear.
I would lose my mind. I'm always wondering if I have the gymnastics bobby pins in too. Like, did my hair eat one and I couldn't find it before I got here? And my hair's, yeah, if I ever have my hair down for an episode, you'll know. But
So
yeah.
there's one more possible what could possibly go wrong scenario I want to
Okay.
share, and I want you to spitball. So our favorite person on Earth, Elon Musk, made a comment after he made a mildly intuitive, a good invention. So he embedded a chip into himself, or actually, I think it was he embedded a chip into a pig and then tried to get AI to talk with it, and said that he claimed that the neural link would that's his you know TM for Mr. Musk, would would help break down problems with this is what he said. I know what he meant. I'm sure that what he said was that the neural link would solve autism and any kind of verbal problem like that. Um, this was, I think, 2015-ish or something. Uh, and yeah, he got a lot of backlash because there's no solving something that is just the way you are. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like,
Yep.
there's no cure, there's no solving. It's not a problem. It's just a different way
Just a
of,
difference. Like, it's like saying this is
yeah,
here to solve ears with the lobes that are not attached to the skin. This is here to solve the big toe that is slightly smaller than the second toe. Like, that's not a claim anybody should dare make. But sure.
yeah. I wanted to die for him, past him. I hope he never came out and apologized. I should put that forward because he's Elon Musk. He
Of
won't.
course. We'll get to that in megalomaniacs and technology, right? Like, it'll be fine.
Oh my God, please wait. So I'm not gonna like riff on him too much longer. He did get a social fallout on that one, and but yes, that was his idea. Was that a chip embedded into the human or animal, in his case, brain, would start to break down the translation and speech issues that we have. That eventually we might able to have like a permanently embedded psychic link, right?
Right.
So that is my other horrifying what could possibly go wrong. In 2015 was the first time that somebody used a bio payment in Bitcoin because it's secure.
Mhm. Secure.
Anyway,
Secure is
so that's
such a loosey goosey word. I
okay.
noticed that in Germany, 2,000 people have opted specifically for banking chip implants and have used them. Why Germany? I don't know, but that always makes me a little bit nervous when the Germans are the first to do something like that. And then I don't know if you know about it was called Three Square Market. Have you ever heard of Three Square Market? Okay, so it's a
No.
tech company and it's based in Wisconsin, and they required their employees to be chipped
I
to
did know about that.
be able to track their productivity at work and their bathroom breaks and everything else that they did. So clearly that's a huge violation of privacy. I mean, we do still have the Fourth Amendment, I hope. And so they ended up taking it to court, and obviously this wasn't a thing. Now Wisconsin says that you can't involuntarily embed chips, and 10 other states jumped on board right away, like California and stuff. Not Florida, of course. You
No.
know, we're gearing up for some chips here, most likely. An uptick in black market chips and an uptick in petty crime hand sales. 5-finger discount. Need a new bank card? Instead of stealing their card, you'd just be taking people's hands. I mean, when in a movie, when somebody's breaking into a bank with some kind of like ocular identification, do they not take the person's eye? How many people in real life might take somebody's hand? I'd rather them take my card, personally.
That's true. That's true. I envision though that there will be some sort of like large dermal punch because like why take the whole hand when you can just, you know, take the webbing, which is where they
Right?
recommend you. So just pow, you would end up with like a big old, well, probably a completely severed hand web,
Yes. Oh.
but you would still be alive. Um, Speaking of movies, I did watch a movie in preparation for this. It was called In Time, starring Justin Timberlake and a couple of other really great actors who I'm not going to shame by putting them in the movie right here. I'm just going to say it was a Justin Timberlake movie. Anyway, so the premise is that you are born with so much time,
Mm-hmm.
and in exchange for stopping aging, you then have to relinquish that time. And they had an interesting, the reason why I was thinking about it, especially with the movie connection, they had an interesting way of stealing time from each other in which they just literally touched hands and then like twisted in the direction that they wanted to exchange that for. Or they had scanners that they would smack on your arm and take so many minutes in exchange for a cup of coffee.
How
So
does that
recommend.
translate? How does that translate into the one jerk that has to squeeze your hand and shake for an extra 5 minutes? Is that guy just stealing everybody's life at that point? I mean, that's rough.
Actually, you're onto something because all of the centurions in the movie were all megalomaniacs who were like CEO corporate types. So yes,
Perfect.
they do have all the time and all the money.
They even built it into their lifestyle. Fantastic.
That's right.
What could possibly go right? One of the fun things about reading books about dystopian futures is looking at the different slang that they use for things. And I think chip grips, calling people with embedded chips chip grips, would be something that catches on pretty well. Very, very 1984-esque. So
Oh, I like it. I like it. Yeah, so I just got a couple of responses. Like, as a medical worker, I RFID in and out of my laboratory, in and out of the building all the time. If my company ever felt inclined to track my productivity or how many times I pee, I have to use the badge to get in there anyway. So it's I would probably elect. I would. I volunteer as tribute. I would definitely give it a whirl. And yeah, like you said, because we are both kind of neurodivergent and not having, because it could use it on your car, on the door, on your chip cabinets or whatever. Yeah, that would be great. And I think I would prefer the slang term chipper. I want to be a chipper.
Chipper, yeah. Did you know that they're a chipper?
Yeah.
They've got it all
that's
together.
Ariel.
They don't have to go home to get
She's
their
a
keys.
chipper. That's right. She's a chipper. I like it. It'd be the first time I've ever been accused of being chipper.
There's a first for everything.
There is. So that's the end of my Ariel-centric episode, and I'm going to see us off then. Remember to ask for help if you need it, and we hope you enjoyed this quick rabbit trail of an episode, and we hope to see you next time. Bye!
Bye!